the 5 phases of healing and disease, because as we get something, as human beings, oh my God, you've got macular degeneration. Oh my God, you have heart disease. Oh my God, you have this. Well, get rid of it right away. Well, it took years to get you to that point. It could take years to get you out of that point, but that's what I think people need to understand. There's that patience that they don't have. And that's why Western medicine has just been so good feeding it. Here, take this magic pill, because we're a magic pill society. Take this magic pill. Oh, take this magic pill, you make $1 million. Take this magic pill, you're going to be fine. Take this magic pill. But, you're 60 years old, 55 years old, and it took you 55 years to get your eyes in that condition. It could take you 55 years to get your eyes in better condition, but then again, you live to 110 and you saw perfectly clearly. So I think a lot of people don't understand that. So maybe if you go through the 5 phases of healing and disease and walk people through that, I think that would be really fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah, let's start with the theoretical state of perfect balanced health. How do we get out of balance? Well, the first thing is stress. Any kind of stress, psycho-emotional stress, physical stress, trauma, stress of stress on the food supply, diet. So when we're stressed, if we look at human tissue and the toxins in human tissue, fully half of the toxins stored in our tissues are the breakdown products of our response to stress. Stress hormones, stress neurotransmitters, they don't fully just release and break down into nothing and escape the body. They can, if it's chronic stress or a really strong acute stress, they impact us. They get stuck in the tissues. We store that impact. And so that's what first tends to throw us out of balance. Again, hormones, neurotransmitters of stress. So that becomes toxic in the body. I have a numbering system. So we're going to start at phase 5. That's balance. So stress throws us out of balance, down to phase 4, level 4 health. I oriented it like we're used to in a classroom. We want to get a higher grade, right? So we want to get back to that level 5 health of true wellness and balance, and dealing with stress, on an ongoing basis as it comes up and not storing it. So if we're knocked down to level 4, we're dealing with toxicity. So phase 4, I call cleansing, because what do? We have toxins. We need to cleanse them. If they're building up faster than we're getting them out, now we're becoming toxic. So the symptoms in that phase 4 terrain are allergy symptoms and toxicity symptoms, like say a diarrhea or like a eye allergy, or high blood pressure or heart attacks happen in that high stress level. Toxins are in the blood's going through the heart can't handle it. If we build up enough to where there's so many toxins in the tissue that the cells can't survive, we have now, or the waste material can't get out, it's just blocked up. Now we have dead matter in the tissue. What grows on dead matter? If you think about a forest, you see a dead branch, a dead tree, fungus, right? So fungus is part of our microbiome in the body, and its function is to break down dead matter to help us recycle. If our body could do it with our own enzymes, then we don't need the fungus. But if we provide the dead matter and don't have the flow to get that out of the system, now we get into phase 3 terrain, which is fungal terrain. If we turn that around, it's regenerative terrain. We make the space by removing the dead matter, space and energy to make more cells to regenerate the full tissue. From phase 3, the problems go inside the cell. Phase 2 is where the enzymes in the cell are blocked. We've got now metabolic problems. We've got energy problems. We've got problems being able to make the things that we need to make, to repair the enzymes. We need enzymes to make enzymes. If we don't have enough digestive enzymes to break down the proteins, we don't have the amino acids to build the digestive enzymes or to build the cellular enzymes. So that's phase 2. And then phase 1, called low energy terrain. energized terrain, where now there's so little energy in the cell is not structuring water on the outside of the cell. And so even viruses can now gain access to the cell. A virus cannot get at a healthy cell. Even in phase 2, we can have bacterial issues, parasite issues, because they have enzymes to break down food that we're not breaking down with our enzymes. But in phase 1, again, there's no shield of living water on the cell. A virus has no moving parts. It can't swim. It's just attracted to a low energy cell. It's pushed away from a healthier cell. Phase 2 and above. So that's also where we get chronic degenerative disease and ultimately cancer, is where there's just not enough energy to break down, not even breaking down sugar into carbon dioxide and water. We're breaking it down into, there's still carbon-carbon bonds. There's sludge inside the cell. The cell gets filled up with the sludge, and it has to make another cell to store more stuff. The cancer cell is not a cell that's trying to kill the body. It's a cell that's protecting the body from the stuff that it's storing until it gets access to enough energy and nutrients to start cleansing and breaking down. And then that cancer cell will start detoxifying. It may restore its ability to break down the cell, apoptosis, the natural cell death, when there's ability to release what's in there and knowing that the body can handle it. In 3,000 cases on record of spontaneous remission of cancer, which is not spontaneous at all, it's when the conditions are produced for the immune system and the body to be able to heal itself, you get fever. You get a high fever, which is a symptom of like bacterial infection and phase 2 terrain. When in every case of spontaneous remission of cancer, you've gone from phase 1 low energy terrain to the next higher energy level of terrain, where bacteria are making enzymes and our cells are making enzymes again, and we have enough energy to produce, for the immune system to produce a high fever, and we are able to cleanse those toxins out of, it can even be metastatic cancer that's gone in 3 days. It's amazing, the capacity of the body to heal itself when the conditions are right. So it's the terrain, the conditions. It's like if you have a garden, what's the pH of the soil? What's the nutrition you're giving the plants? That the sunlight, the energy, the material, the positive thoughts that you're giving it, the attention, the care that you're giving to the garden is going to determine what grows. And do you have a green thumb? There really is positive energy from thoughts. Thoughts are energy forms, and they have an effect on living things like our cells. So phase 2, you can heal cancer in a few days. Phase 3, you can regenerate, like take the liver, the largest internal organ. You can surgically remove 98% of the liver. And if the body's healthy, that 2% can regenerate to a full 100% liver. It's amazing. Yeah. And even parts of the body, when I was in school, they said, oh, the brain can't regenerate, the eye can't regenerate, all these other parts can't regenerate. Why? Because they never saw it regenerate. We've seen it regenerate. We know now, there's communication molecules in the body. Like the Russians did a bunch of studies during the Cold War. They had a lot of resources put into the medical system in their military for rapid healing on the battlefield. You're hit by trauma, lasers, whatever. How do you get that person back in function quickly? And they looked at the different tissues in the body, different organs, and they found peptides, little chains of 2, 3, 4 amino acids that are specific to a certain organ, like the eye or the thyroid or the circulation, the brain, that would stimulate faster regeneration of that tissue. You still need to have the right terrain. You need that phase 3 terrain where there's enough energy for an existing cell to make 2 cells that are healthy and functional. So there's a definition of wellness. If you're in phase 3 regeneration terrain, wellness is having the capacity to clear the space out from dead matter, waste stuff that's surrounding the cell, and get the energy up in your cell to where it's double a normal healthy cell, so it can make 2 normal healthy cells. That's well-being. That's a lack of susceptibility. Okay, so phase 4, we're cleansing the tissue. The connective tissue is the home of every cell. Here's a cell. Around it is collagen, different fibers, and space-filling molecules. It's like a filter system. Any nutrients have to come from a blood vessel, from the capillary, filter through that connective tissue to the cell. Any waste have to filter out through the connective tissue to the capillary or to an open-ended lymph vessel for larger molecules to be removed from that tissue. So in cleansing terrain, phase 4, we're now removing, again, the 50% of toxins that are from our own stress responses. And we can't help that, and we can manage it, we can minimize it by not stressing, but and that's important. But we also can manage it by organizing our lives so we're not putting ourselves in such stressful situations. But the ultimate toxicity is our own reaction to the stressful situation. So that's where the mind and the spirit is half of healing. We know it's half of healing from studying any drug study. They have to do a controlled study where the doctor doesn't know which is the drug and which is the placebo, and the patient doesn't know which is which, because if they know, that's equally as strong as anything that chemistry is going to do. Half of the power of pain relief from an opiate is from the psyche, from the minding body, the spirit.